Well, after 7 years as the national head of the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, or the Hawks, Lieutenant General Godfrey Lebeya has retired from his position and the broader South African Police Service. In bowing out, Lieutenant General Lebeya said he is leaving behind a capable team who are dedicated to combating major criminal syndicates in the country. And with over 19,000 people arrested, with successful convictions during his tenure. The Hawks have also faced many challenges, including investigations and arrests of their own members for alleged fraud and corruption. Well, we are joined in studio now by the man himself, Lieutenant General Godfrey Lebeya. Such a pleasure to have you. Thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you and your viewers.
So, 1st of June, that was the day that it all came to an end. I'm still in denial that it's anywhere near an end, because I can only imagine nobody's letting you go with all of the knowledge you have. 4 decades in policing, 7 years at the helm of the Hawks. What does retirement mean for you personally?
Yeah, I think that it's just a matter that let others continue where you left. And then when I left, I have indicated to those who remain behind that should it be necessary that they need to check with me any other thing, I'm still available. But as you shall have indicated, I have left a layer of experienced officers in the provinces and at national level. As an example, you look at Limpopo. The person in charge of the Hawks in Limpopo, Govender, Major General Govender, he have clocked more than 40 years of service. And the one in the Northern Cape, Major General Mabuela, he have also clocked more than 39 years. And you have got the likes of General Maginyani, who is in charge of serious commercial crime at national level. He has clocked more than 40 years. And you go to General Kadwa again. So in Gauteng, you go to any other province, you'll find that the layer that is there is so experienced. In total, the generals that I have left in the Hawks have got more than 600 years of combined experience. So one is happy that with that layer, I think that they will be able to deliver more than what we have done during my term.
Well, we hope so. And it certainly is a big legacy to follow with those that come up after you. But there's quite an important question I would like to ask you. And it's something like, do you have regrets or unresolved investigations? Something that during your tenure you would love to have done that'll perhaps weigh on you as you step down?
Yes, there are always things that you feel that we should have moved quicker. When I left, I thought that we may have gone to the bench to fetch one of those who are sitting on the bench, but they will be doing it. I think it's just a matter of time. There is also the killers of one of our own, Lieutenant Colonel Matiba. I thought that by the time I exit, we shall have effected arrest. But all paperwork is in place. It's only a matter of time that they will be taken in. You also look at the VBS matter. We have actually secured half of what we are supposed to secure in court. I thought that we should have moved quicker and be able to process others. But if you shall have looked at the nature of the statements that the investigators get to file in those dockets, I think one such statement was in the media with more than 60 pages, one statement. Sure. And it takes time to compile that kind of statement. We are not talking about attachments that have to be attached on that affidavit. Say that annexure A, you find annexure up to J and the like. So there are complicated matters that takes time, but I'm convinced that the officers who are working closely with the prosecutors from the National Prosecuting Authority will be able to process those. One area that I felt that we should have done more was the implementation of specific provisions in the South African Police Service Act. The law was passed in 2008, was amended again in 2012, and there are still provisions, 15 of them, that still need to be effectively implemented.
Yeah.
But I have, in my legacy report, listed them and say that this is part of what my successor needs to be looking
Needs
at.
to take over and move on, because, you know, there have been, there are many people that absolutely have revered your time in leadership. And of course, coming in 2018 in a very difficult time, there was a lot of pressure on you to come in and almost drop the gauntlet on what we saw as state capture and what we saw as a very difficult time in South Africa's history. But there has been some accusations leveled against you that, you know, there was this massive announcing of arrests with fanfare, but then struggling to get those solid convictions. Because we'd always see this happening and it would be, oh my goodness, this is going to happen. And then suddenly it was actually more smoke than fire. What do you say about that?
I think that people should understand that the purpose of the investigators is to secure the attendance of those accused persons in court. And once they are at court, it's out of the control of the investigators. Then if you want to check as to whether the investigator, those cases are lost, then you have got to be saying, but what is the conviction rate that you get out of this? As I'm leaving the office, we have got more than 12,000 accused persons that are currently serving in the different courts in the country. So we haven't lost those cases. It's just that it takes time. I was citing an example of a case that has been on the court roll from March 2015, and only in 2025 have the matter been finalized with a conviction and sentence. We have got currently matters that have been postponed for trial in December 2027. We are only still in 2025, but matters are postponed to that time. So it means that the court rolls are full.
Yeah.
So we are not losing this matter. So most of the matters that we are concluded in court, the conviction rate is more than 80%. So which means that we are not losing those cases. It's just that they take too long to be finalized.
They do take long, and it brings about immense frustration within South Africans. And this is understandable. It's very understandable. I mean, there's one particular case where South Africans would love to see a closure on this, and that, of course, is that of the extradition of the Guptas. What's happening there? What's stopping this?
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Obviously, the Hawks has been investigating that matter until it was taken to the IDEC, Investigative Directorate Against Corruption, which is in the National Prosecuting Authority. When that entity was established, it was established for the purpose of investigating matters emanating from commissions, inclusive of the State Capture Commission. So matters emanating from the State Capture Commission are handled by the IDEC. What we have done from our side, those matters that we were already in advance, some of which we had already effected arrest, like those in correctional services, they have been taken over to the IDEC. And we have also allowed 15 investigators to go and work in the IDEC so that those matters that they have been handling should not be obviously frustrated when you remove the investigators. So the issue of the Guptas, I think that the National Prosecuting Authority have done its best to try to get those individuals back in the country. They have also visited the country where they have ran to, and they are continuing to do that. So it's unfortunate that they are out of the country, but they have not given up.
I want to ask you about the National Prosecuting Authority, and a very important question. Are they strong enough to support the Hawks? Because a lot of people saying that perhaps there is tension or dysfunction between your team and the NPA, and that you are being let down. What do you think? What do you say to accusations like that?
Yeah, you see that I wouldn't like to be criticizing part of the criminal justice system. But I think that openly we have the National Prosecuting Authority, the National Director of Public Prosecution, has indicated that there is a problem with capacity. Moving from where we come from, she has indicated now and then that from state capture, some of the things were not working the way we expected them to do. So from my side, what I have raised with the National Prosecuting Authority was that it is fine, we have got a serious commercial crime, and then the Prosecuting Authority have got dedicated prosecutors to prosecute serious commercial crime. We have got a serious organized crime. The National Prosecuting Authority have got dedicated capacity to prosecute these cases. But we have got a serious corruption investigation unit, and the National Prosecuting Authority does not have a dedicated capacity to prosecute those cases. That is why those cases have now to be prosecuted by the prosecutors dedicated to prosecute commercial cases. As a result, they get overburdened, and at times it takes time to make a decision. So that's why from now and then, I have been highlighting how many cases are pending decision, cases that have been completely investigated, and then a decision need to be made. So it at times take time. But I'm convinced that if they can have more personnel, they will be able to create those dedicated capacity, and the matters will be able to move quicker. But it will not end there. It will mean that you shall also need more courtrooms, more presiding officers, and as well as correctional services facilities. So the country, the population of the country has grown. So all the systems must grow to be able to cope with the population.
Indeed, it's very difficult, and I know that that's something you spoke about during your time, is that there just was not enough resources, not enough funding, not enough personnel within the Hawks. But it also was a difficult time because there were also times where multiple Hawks members were actually arrested for fraud and corruption. And this is something that you've had to deal with. But I don't want to go there because we don't have too much time. What I need to ask you, and a very candid question, were you at any time politically pressured to drop cases against powerful figures?
Not at all.
Never approached?
Not at all. I have constantly repeated that there is a judge available. If anyone was to approach me, I'll go to the judge. 2 judges have been there waiting for me. So there has not been anyone who tried to pressurize me. And you should have seen that we have investigated these matters at any level. And if anyone can tell me at what level we did not investigate, then I will be able to say maybe there was that pressure. But there was none.
There was no pressure.
None at all.
Because people say, you know, it always seems that, you know, nothing ever happens to the powerful. And we live in those times where, you know, they seem to get away with it. They're big names, they're massive names out there that have been accused of so much, and yet they still carry on as if they've done nothing wrong. But you say absolutely no stonewalling from government.
No, nothing at all from us. If there were allegations made and the docket has been opened, we shall have investigated completely and table it before the prosecuting authority, which authority have got to make a decision as to whether they intend to prosecute or otherwise. But from our side, we have done what any other investigator can do.
Yeah. As we leave, and as you leave and you walk away from this, but I have a feeling that you're not going to go too far. As you said, your door is open. You're ready to assist and help. What kind of personal toll has this position taken on you? It must be quite difficult to see what you see, hear what you hear, because you're at the heart of it all. You are seeing things that we don't necessarily see. I mean, it's a very tough emotional and mental toll that it must take on you.
I have adjusted. I'm not feeling that pressure. Some people say that this must be a tough position. I'm not feeling it. As long as you honestly do what is expected of you, you don't worry about anything. You will be worried when you are trying to cover some of the things. But because what I do is what I will do the following day, I'm not worried at all.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it.
Family time for you?
Yes, the family understand, because at the time when I married some years back, 1987,
yeah.
I was already married to the employer. So they understood that they have associated with a married person, a person who is passionate about his work.
Yeah.
But they support me in that.
I'm sure. And almost 40 years of marriage is what you're telling me.
From 1987.
Yeah, almost. So now your wife's got to get used to you being home. It's an adjustment to her too. General, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for your service. And thank you for talking to us and being candid. And as you say, leaving the position with a clear mind and heart that you've done your best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm also appreciating the support that I got from South Africans as well as the government for giving me this opportunity to be of service to the people of South Africa.
Well, there you have it. Former head of the national head of the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, that's the Hawks, having a conversation with us on his time in his position and some of the work and, of course, criticism levelled against him.